Hello and welcome to the Blue Heat Nation podcast. I am your host, Rob Pearson. I am joined by the head football coach at Demopolis High School, Coach Ricky Woods. And this is our first sit-down, Coach, and it's good to finally sit down with you. I'm sorry we didn't get this started in the preseason. That would have been a lot easier to sort of get to know each other a little better. But we now after game one, not really a lot to talk about after losing 44-7 to Mountain Brook. So,
be honest with you, these two hard games in the beginning, it sort of helps you get ready for where you need to be. After evaluating the film, they had a lot to do with it, don't get me wrong, but, we had mistake after mistake after mistake, and, we really had to give them 24 points before we even got started. So, we come in Sunday and watch the tape with the kids and, they understand it. And, we just, you build off your mistakes. And if you'd have played somebody that, wasn't very good, beat them 80-0, you wouldn't even know where you're sitting.
That's right.
So, playing somebody really good, and they were really good, and we're going to play somebody really good Friday night, sort of sets you where you need to be, You just need to be fundamentally sound, and plus you find out a lot about your players. Who wants to respond and who don't, and how you come back off of adversity, and sometimes you learn more from a loss than you do a win. And I know it sounds sort of crazy, but I know in Tennessee one time we got beat 39-12, and I told the team after the game, the first time I thought we could win a state championship because we didn't quit, and we went 1-11 straight after that. Mm-hmm. So, you just learn a lot about the character of your team, and who wants to play and who don't. But anyway, I thought the kids really played hard. We just made a bunch of bad mistakes. I mean, just little mistakes when we had them captured, missed tackles. Blown assignments, but anyway, we correcting that now. We had a really great day of practice yesterday, and I think we're gonna have a good one today. And every day at practice is really important for this team because we've been here. This is our 5th week here. I mean, they didn't know anything about what the terminology and building. So we got this week, and then after this week, we got a week off. We got 2 more weeks, so we're sort of building for the future on our practices, which they are sort of lengthy, more so than I usually have them. But we got a long way to go and a short time to get there because it'll be over before you know it. But the kids have practiced well.
Well, and I was really going to go back to the second week of July when you showed up here on campus, and you had a lot to get over. In other words, you got to learn not only the coaching staff you're working with, and you brought Coach Oakes with you, obviously, but you're learning the coaching staff, you're learning the players, you learn what the players can do and what they can absorb in a quick amount of time to be able to even play that first game.
No.
And so then you turn the light. You don't know, you don't have any idea what they're going to do when you turn the lights on. Now you've got a little better idea. At least of that.
It helps to play and be familiar with how their personalities and how they respond to certain things. And, if you got, I'll just take the last time I was the head coach and even as assistant, when we just really worked all year round in practice. And I'll be honest with you, the first day of practice, we could actually play a game. That's how far along we would be. Like Coach Fair, I'd helped him at Grenada when I was at South Panola and Starkville. I mean, after the second year, you just practice at that point. You work in the weight room, you do 7-on-7, then you work fundamentals with linemen. You sort of got everything in before you start. So we was very, very far behind. But like I told the kids, that's no excuse for him. We just got to catch up. We are where we're at, and we got to bring it forward now.
And the last thing on that is there was a definite contrast Friday night between a program who is training their kids the system in peewees.
Oh yeah,
and working all the way up through middle school and freshman ball, which they had no freshmen on the roster Friday night. Right. And then, of course, when they show up for Coach Hager,
when you get them to the 10th grade, they already know the system. I mean, you just sort of build on it.
Right.
You just build and build and build. the learning process, the fundamentals of taught in the junior high, but the same sequence of play calling and how they do things, everything just runs its course. By the time they play 7th, 8th, and 9th, when they become 10th graders, they got a really good idea of what's going on.
And you saw that. They played game 1 like it was game 10.
Yeah, that's right. So, and that's the way it's supposed to be. That's right. When you program up, that's what you're supposed to be.
We're talking on a Tuesday morning, getting ready for Jackson this Friday night, Coach. And I know you've after the game, even right after the game, you talked to Mike Randall on the field, and you mentioned there were some positives. Yeah, you already mentioned one. The kids did not quit.
No.
But there were some players I think surprised you too.
I thought several offensive linemen responded well. Jamarcus, our running back, played really, really well, took some hits, and I thought our defensive front played pretty well. And I think that everybody played hard. I just didn't be disposed to a lot. And, that offense is sort of different. It is sort of hard because all they do is outside zone. The rest of the teams we play will be more conventional, and we'll stand up a little better to them. Jackson's got so much speed and got great players. They got, 3 or 4 guys committed to Alabama, and the running back getting to play. I wish he'd have bought 2 cards and maybe he'd been out 2 weeks.
Right.
I give him 2 cards. But now I seen him from last year on tape, but not this year. He's a really good player. But they've got a very, very talented team.
When you've got the quarterback, Landon Duckworth, and then Xavier Crowell at running back, Coach, that's a lot of field to have to defend.
That's a lot of field to have to defend. But, I really think we'll do better defending than we did last week. We just because you don't need to get the deep ball because they're going to hurt us some. They're going to get some yardage. And I just want to see us compete. That's what we need to do. And, we got to be better after the game than before the game. Every game you play before, be better than you were before. And, I think we've got a good game plan against them. And I think the kids are more familiar with what we're doing and what we're trying to do. And I think that our kids are going to play hard. They're going to play the best of their ability, and our job is to put them in a position to help make plays. But I think they're excited about it. I am. I mean, I like to play good people. Like I say, if you play, we got taught our region after this. I watched a couple of some teams that played people. They're like running on air. Well, if you're running on air, you're not really getting nothing done.
Right.
So, when we do get to our region, we'll be very well prepared for our region, and that's what we're trying to do. We're focusing on this game, to get better with this game, and then the next 2 weeks we off to practice hard and get better, and then the region starts. There's 3 seasons. You're gonna have the non-district games, then you're gonna have the regional games is your second season, the playoffs is your third season. So you prepare for the non-regional games. You prepare to try to win those games and to get better, which prepares you for the region. Okay, in the regions you get to where must-win games, and then you must win to get to the state playoff. Then when you get to state playoffs, you got to win or you go home. So it's all just a process.
You've got a really good senior class.
Yes, a bunch of good boys too. Yep, good boys.
And so talk a little bit about, I guess, their leadership during practice leading up to the first game, and then how have they responded to what happened Friday night, and how have they responded both Sunday and Monday?
They understand we played a good team. We brought them in Sunday to watch the tape, and we went over our mistakes, let them play. And, there's a lot of good things, a lot of bad things happen, but they responded well. I mean, they just want to be better and try to win the games, please the people in Demopolis, and have a good season. But they've done well. We got good leadership. We practice hard. We really practice a little longer than really I like to. But still, they responded well. Now, I don't know their practice schedule last year. Know nothing about it, but I know that I go about 20 minutes longer to 30 minutes longer right now than I usually do, and we're gonna have to continue that for a little while. And we feel like we get to the point that we got everything sort of situated fundamentally in terminology, then we scale back a little bit.
You've got some positions, and I don't know how much you want to talk about this, but you've got some positions where there is competition.
Our offensive line, we've got 7 or 8 guys fight, and and they'll all probably play some. We play in, let's see, we play in 1, 2, 3, 7. We'll play Friday night, so out of the 5. So we're using 2 more guys, and they're trying to play a little bit, and we got a 10th grader or 2 that, if we can get some games in control, they'll play some just for depth. And the tailback, of course, Carlos got hurt. I don't know how long he'll be out, but we got 3 running backs, and they compete every day. And then we got 2 quarterbacks. 3 quarterbacks was them, and our quarterback spots. We play both quarterbacks. I try to play JP some at receiver because he can stretch the field when he's not in quarterbacks. The other night I would like to play him a little bit more, but he's a better runner, and it was the game was sort of out of hand. I just hate to run him up there and get him hurt for the next series.
Right.
You sort of got to be careful with that. If it had been a tight game, I'd feel like because he's got JD's about a 4-6 guy. He can really run. So and him and JW do different things, and both of them do what they do well. So they both pretty good players. So both of them work at quarterbacks, and they'll continue to. So we trying to work it where we work on their strengths, and some of the things they can do the same. JP's just got a little more speed, and JW right now in the quick game releases gets the ball out of his hand a lot better, a lot quicker. So they have different strengths and different weaknesses.
Defensively, Coach, it was a struggle. As you said, Mount Brook runs sort of the outside zone.
Right,
it's a little different than what most people run, and they execute it
very
extremely well.
Well, they just run it. It's just like a moving wall. And if there's ever a crease, they find it. They do a good job doing that. The whole wall moves. It's not really conventional because that's all they run is the outside zone and a little play action off of it. Just run it out a lot of different formations.
So what, I guess, if any, what adjustments do the defense need to make this week?
Well, it'll be a more conventional thing. It's going to be, we'll stay too high because you're going to have to against these guys because they're going to run verticals and you can't cover it in 3. And, they can get their keys a lot better. If those keys were just really hard, and the line's not going to move like that. These guys they may run the outside zone, but it don't look like this, they'll run the stretch, but they don't drop, step, lose ground, and run. And most people just reach, but these guys open and run. And I've seen it both ways, and you have to be really, really work on this for a long time to catch them in the wall. Mm-hmm. So as far as that's concerned, and I feel like defensively, they run such a slanting defense. Our offense did a pretty good job as you wound up missing them in slants. And these guys will slant a little bit, but they're going to be more conventional. And, I think they'll play. They look like they had a 52 Eagle most of the time. I knew last year they played a 4-4, but we've sort of been preparing for both.
Mm-hmm. So Jackson coming to town, you're going to have your home opener finally, and hoping for a big crowd. I know we talked about moving to Thursday, but it didn't work out, and that's okay. We'll be competing against Auburn. I guess they're playing Friday night.
Yeah.
So, but we want to try to have a big crowd, and you really kind of expect that when you're playing players like Duckworth, who's going to South Carolina, and Crowell's going to Alabama. Typically, you get people come out of the woodworks to watch a team like that play. How are players responding to this? Is sort of a chance for a lot of people to see.
Well, they just they know they got a good team, and of course, the more people the more they don't like it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is a social event to a degree, no matter what you want to say,
Right.
But I think they look forward to it, and I think that physically that we're going to be up to par. We're going to hit them, and they're going to hit us. I think it's going to be a physical game. I hope it is anyway, especially on our part.
It's been a whirlwind for you since mid-July. I know you've been focused on trying to get a football team ready.
Yeah.
How's Demopolis treated you so far?
Good. I mean, they like football, and of course, I was up at 3:30 this morning watching tape, so that's sort of my standard, That's why I didn't want to be a head coach no more and just wear me down. I've done it for so many years, can't sleep, so I just work all night long. And anyway, my wife says I'm grouchy, but that's sort of the way it is. So.
Well, so at what point during the week do you feel like you got the hay in the barn now? Because you've made it.
Well, I sleep better on Thursday night than any night. Because, after Thursday, I'm done. I mean, it's just, you got your game plan Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, thinking about what you need to do, and lots that goes into it. And Thursday, when I'm done. I can sleep at night. So that's my best night's sleep on Thursday. Now, a lot of people can't sleep because of the game next day. I felt like I've done all I can do.
The hay's in the barn, right?
I can lay down then. So, and, it's going to be easier, for the kids. We get this one here. We play this one. We have 2 under us. Then we got a week off. Then we got another month, and I think we'll be progressed a whole lot more. Because we had more time to practice and prepare, and I'm sort of a personnel guy, and I run about 5 different personnel. Well, we didn't have one in last week. I mean, period.
Right.
This week we're gonna have another one in, so that'll give us 2.
Ran a lot of 12.
Then
last week.
a lot of 12. Then I'm gonna try to work in 11, starting a little bit today, and not for this week, but for the future. And then. Of course, the last we'll work will be 10 personnel. So, we'll work some, what I call a Bravo set some this week. But it's just, and different people run those. You get different people with different qualities that can do the different personnel groups. And then more kids get to play a little bit, but a lot of the same ones are on the field. Mm-hmm. The terminology needs to be the same. It's according to who you're playing. Sort of what kind of defense they were on, and what kind of strengths and weaknesses what you run, and what you're up against them. You got the same plays, just out of different formations and different personnel groupings.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about what percentage of your offense did you run against Mountain Brook? I'm going to guess about 15.
Well, we hadn't got much of it. I mean, a lot of it in.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, you just got to see what the kids can do. I've run a lot of different offenses, and for years, I run just DI, and I run the short trap, long trap, spinner, the midline, inside and outside veer, and play action passes. Mm-hmm. Then went to Georgia. I didn't have a very good offensive line, so I went to the spread, and I've sort of been in the spread ever since. Mm-hmm. Then I went to the college, and you had to run the spread the way the system was set up.
Right.
So I like the spread, but I like 12 too. It's just cool and we're really better at 12 because our personnel fit 12 better.
You've got some really good tight ends. H-back, Bryant Dees catches everything that's thrown to him.
We got tight ends. We got H-backs. And that, when you got those guys, you got to utilize them. Mm-hmm. And we'll work a little bit to 10 at a certain point. So we just sort of evolving right now. We need to be evolved when we get in our region a little bit more. And we'll be better.
Coach Ricky Woods for DeBoppis High School. Coach, we'll try to do this every week. We'll try to sit down with you and hopefully catch you in a good mood and with a little more sleep and all the things. So as the season goes on, it gives the fans a little insight in what's going on. And, Coach, I appreciate your time, and best of luck to you as you prepare for Jackson.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. You've been listening to Blue Heat Nation podcast. We'll see you next week. By the way, the game will be live on 98.5. Airtime 6:30. Game at 7. That's Friday night. No matter what Auburn's doing, you can let them play in Waco, but you need to be here in Tiger Stadium and tuning in to 98.5 Friday night. We'll see you then.